I used to spend most of my day procrastinating, wanting to be productive but never being able to bring myself to do the work or focus for long enough to get anything done, and when I did get bursts of motivation to do the work, I would always end up burning out. Eventually I had enough and started diving deep into the science of focus, productivity and burnout. Now I never procrastinate, I have laser-like focus, I get more done in one day than most people get done in 1 week, and I haven't burned out in over 2 years. So in this video, I'm going to go over how I stay productive 98% of every day without burning out. If you want to be productive and get anything done, you need a strong foundation to build upon. If you try to build on sand, you have nothing to support you, so you'll never be productive and burning out will only be a matter of time. I realized the traditional view of productivity where you just focus on getting more done was flawed. I would often get a lot done, but I never got what mattered done, and so I never made progress. You can't call that productivity. That's being busy. So I started to view productivity to be about getting the right things for my goals done to a high quality in an efficient and effective way. Instead of focusing on getting more done, I started focusing on getting the right things done. But this meant I needed to know what the right things for my goals were. I needed to know what tasks were essential to complete if I wanted to make any progress. The best part about this was that this made the work that I had to do meaningful. Instead of just cramming my day with tasks that didn't matter just so I could avoid the work that did, I was facing the work that moved me toward my goals, and since these goals I had were meaningful goals that I truly wanted to achieve, that made the work that I had to do to get there meaningful as well. It was a reason for me to be productive. Often people can't be productive because the work that they're trying to do has no meaning, or at least they don't consciously understand the meaning behind it, so they don't have a reason to do it. They don't have a reason to overcome the friction of starting and finishing hard things. But when you shift your view of productivity to be about doing the right things and not doing more things, this changes. So I stopped focusing on doing more and cramming my day with meaningless tasks, and instead figured out the 1 to 3 tasks that I needed to do with no exception every single day that would move me toward my goals, and focused on completing them to as high a quality as I could in the most efficient and effective way I could. But there's a major problem with productivity, no matter how you view it. If you don't start the work, if you procrastinate, you can't be productive. And one of the most common reasons for procrastination is a lack of clarity. Think about it like driving a car. If your windshield is fogged up and dirty, it's not clear, you're going to drive incredibly slowly, or you won't drive at all. But if your windshield is nice and clear, if you have clarity, you will drive with no problems. In the context of getting stuff done, specificity creates clarity. If you're not specific on what you need to do and when you need to do it, you're leaving everything up to chance and in the moment decision making. So I started to get specific with what I needed to do each day and when I needed to do it. I started planning every single hour of my day in a pocket notebook. This done 2 things. Massively boosted my productivity, prevented overwhelm and burnout. By listing out all the tasks I had to do each day, from the important tasks for my goals to going to the gym to doing groceries, I knew exactly what needed done, and then by assigning all my tasks to a particular hour of the day, I knew exactly when I was doing each task. I was specific on what needed done and when, creating clarity and clearing my mind. I no longer had to make decisions every 30 or 60 minutes about what I'm doing next whilst trying to remember what needs done, which only leads to you putting off the important work that's hard and challenging. Everything was laid out in a clear and structured order of priority, massively reducing how I felt and how overwhelmed I felt. Because when you're trying to wing your day and mentally keep track of everything you have to do today and decide on the spot what you're going to do, you're adding unnecessary stress and pressure to your life, which will make it harder to manage your mental and physical states and massively increase the chances of you burning out. By planning my day, I wasn't trying to get everything done and wing my day. I was following a purposeful structure for my day. I was able to dedicate specific time to doing the right things for my goals. I wasn't putting them off because it was clear when I had to do them, and since they were meaningful tasks, I had a reason to stick to my schedule and do them. When it comes to doing these important tasks, you want to do them to as high a quality as you possibly can, because the higher the quality of the work, the better the results you'll get per unit of the work. I used to do these important tasks using a Pomodoro timer where you work for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break, but I found that this way of working was massively flawed. You see, You get your best quality work done in the most productive way when you're in a deep state of focus and flow. But it takes between 15 and 30 minutes to enter flow depending on you and the task. So when you use a Pomodoro timer, you're never truly focused. You're taking a break as soon as you enter flow, breaking your state of focus. A task that takes you 90 minutes to do using a Pomodoro timer could be done in 45 minutes when you work with the goal of flow. A Pomodoro timer just creates work and delays you finishing it, increasing your chances of burning out, decreasing the quality of your work and how fast you get it done. I used to use a Pomodoro timer because I liked the idea of taking a break every 25 minutes and not having to work for too long, but that's the easy option. Entering flow can be tough. The first 15 to 25 minutes of your brain warming up to enter deep focus creates a sense of agitation and discomfort, but it's a price that's worth paying for the benefits you experience when working in a flow state. When I stopped using a Pomodoro timer and started to prioritize deep focus in my work blocks, I ended up getting more done to a higher quality in less time, and I ended up enjoying the damn work, making me more productive and less likely to burn out. Each time I sit down to work, I turn off my phone, I close everything on my computer that's not used for work, I set a 90-minute timer and I get to it. Instead of avoiding focus, I leaned into it. When you're chasing a goal, you'll find a lot of your tasks are repetitive and you'll need to do them either daily or weekly. Since they are repetitive, they are predictable, and hence you can be much more productive if you systemize these tasks and streamline the process of doing them. When it comes to systemizing tasks, I go down one of two paths. The first path is for tasks that aren't important but still need done. These tasks I automate using AI, software, outsourcing, or some sort of combination. Since they need done, I can't avoid these tasks, but they don't create progress, and hence my time and energy is much better spent focusing on what does create progress. So by automating these tasks as much as possible, I free up my time and energy for focusing on what does matter. The second path then is for important tasks that do create progress. These tasks are systemized so I can limit decisions, remove guesswork, and maintain a consistent standard of work. Now, systems can get incredibly advanced and complicated, but I am a fan of keeping things simple, and so every system I build starts and finishes with an SOP, a standard operating procedure. An SOP involves you writing out every step you take to complete a certain task. This way, when it comes to doing the task, you don't have to make decisions or use guesswork. You follow the steps that you've laid out in your SOP. Now, some systems can incorporate automations such as AI or software for certain steps, but every system has to start with an SOP. The best part about systems is that no matter how simple your system is, simply by having it, you will speed up your process and maintain a consistent standard of work, boosting your productivity massively. Systems for streamlining your work are essential, but most people overlook systems for managing their life. Your brain has a limited amount of bandwidth. If you're trying to remember everything that doesn't matter right now but matters in the future, you won't have any room to focus on what matters now, ruining your productivity, and you feel overwhelmed and potentially burn out. This was a problem I faced all the time in the past. I was constantly trying to remember future plans and events and remember projects and next steps and all in my head. So when it came time for me to work, I felt like I didn't have anything left to give to my work because I was wasting so much mental energy trying to remember everything in my life. So I decided to make a second brain, or a life management system. This is a simple system designed to help me track progress on longer term projects, build systems for my work, track longer term plans, and note down ideas. With second brains, you can get incredibly complicated like with every system, but I always found the more complicated systems to have too much friction to using them, and so I would never use any of them for more than a week. That is why mine is incredibly bare bones, simple and easy to use. I needed to guarantee that I would use it, and that meant I had to reduce the friction to using it. By creating my second brain, the goal was for me to focus on what matters right now and not what matters next week or next month, freeing up my cognitive bandwidth for doing high quality work and being more productive. Most people think burnout is caused by trying to do too much. It's not. Burnout is caused by an inability to manage your mental and physical states sufficiently. You can work as hard and as long as you want if you're able to manage your mental and physical states enough to match your workload. Now, of course, at a certain point this becomes impossible, and different people have different stress tolerances. But a lot of what we've covered, such as planning your day, prioritizing flow, and using a second brain, I designed specifically to help me manage my mental states and reduce overwhelm so that I wouldn't burn out and could be as productive as possible. But if you're neglecting 3 specific areas, burnout becomes inevitable no matter how much or how little you're working. The first area is your nutrition. Most people underestimate nutrition when it comes to being productive, but when you understand the importance of energy to being productive, nutrition becomes paramount. You are what you eat, okay? If you eat crap foods full of cheap carbs and sugars, your energy will be at the mercy of these cheap carbs and sugars, and you will be both unreliable, full of peaks and troughs, but also low energy. If you try to push your mind to its limits, which any piece of high quality work requires you to do, and be productive with low energy, it's like driving a car on empty. You're not going to get far. When I started to prioritize eating clean, whole foods for at least 90% of my calories and getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, I found I felt so much better throughout my day. I could wake up and work without crashing and without feeling fatigued. My energy wasn't unreliable, full of peaks and troughs, because I wasn't filling my body with crap that causes my energy levels to be volatile, and my recovery was so much better thanks to eating more protein. My fuel tank was full, I suppose. I could get more done and be more productive, and I found it all easier to do. But regardless of how good your nutrition is, if you slack in this second area, you are screwed. The most important aspect of recovery, both mentally and physically, is sleep. Sleep is foundational for energy and health, so skipping sleep is like taking the damn fuel tank out of your car. You won't get anywhere and you'll burn out even if you do nothing all day. I used to be big into the whole, sleep when you're dead movement and mentality and not care about my sleep at all, but it was a massive reason, as much as you obviously should not rely on motivation, that I never felt motivated to do the work, and it was why I burned out so much. So over the past few years, I've made high quality sleep one of my top priorities. I get 8 hours of sleep no matter what. I don't go on my phone within an hour of going to bed, and instead I read a book. I get sunlight in the morning, or at least when I can, because Northern Ireland does not get much sun, so it's pretty grey all the time. And even after a few days of focusing on improving my sleep, I felt like I had so much more energy. I felt like a new man, and as if I had the fuel tank back in my car. The third area of energy management is training. Now, in the short term, immediately after training, it can lower your energy levels, especially if you train hard enough. And this is why I personally train in the afternoon after I've done all my important cognitive work for the day, because I don't want to be doing important cognitive work that moves me toward my goals right after just pushing my body to its limits in the gym, and being tired and, a bit fatigued, because it takes, maybe 1 or 2 hours after a heavy session, especially after the likes of a leg session, for you to be fully back in the zone, back in the game, and really able to push yourself again. So I train in the afternoon after I've done all my important cognitive work for the day. But in the longer term, consistent training and lifting weights will increase your energy levels. It will train you to do hard things and manage more stress, all of which will help you do the work that you know you need to do, be more productive and prevent burnout. Training is like increasing the size of the fuel tank in your car. If you train, you have a greater capacity. Now, I never really had to optimize this part because lifting weights was how I actually got into self-improvement in the first place. I've been training since I was 17. I've won a British weightlifting championship and a few other things, held records, all the rest. But if you're not training and you start to train, or if you do train but you're inconsistent and you half-ass it, and you start to take it seriously, every area of your life will improve. You will look better, you will feel more confident, you'll command more respect from other people, you will have more energy, you'll be able to tolerate higher stress and workloads, and you'll be able to be more productive and not burn out. So lift weights, at least 3 times a week, hit every muscle group at least once per week, and each week progressively overload with the goal of lifting more weight or doing more reps. You will literally watch your damn life transform in front of your eyes, because I think I see working out as the gateway to self-improvement, as the gateway to becoming all you could be. Because if you're not physically training, if you're not pushing your body with the goal of improving your body, especially with all the ripple effects that training has, you're not chasing your potential and you're not doing as much as you possibly could be doing to achieve your goals and become a better person. Lifting weights will teach you so much more about discipline, delayed gratification, consistency. It will teach you so many more lessons that you will be able to apply to achieving your goals, to improving yourself, than anything else on the planet. You need to be working out. My friend, that is it for this video. As always, thank you for watching. If you are interested in seeing how I've planned my day for the past 1300 plus days, check out this video here, click that subscribe button, and I will see you, as always, in the next one.